everyone, welcome to this week's edition of our Inside Early Careers video series. Today I am joined by our senior technical instructor Nick Todd, who has been involved in graduate programs for over 23 years and has been leading some of our global graduate programs. So hi Nick, thank you for joining me.
No, it's great to be with you today.
So today we are going to talk about what makes our programs engaging and memorable and what keeps our global clients coming back every year. So let's dive in. So one of the big outcomes for our clients, what they look for is building a culture of continuous learning and connection between the graduates. So Nick, from what you've seen, how do you think our programs help make that happen?
Yeah, that's a really good question and an important one, because what we don't want to do is just kind of shovel loads of information into the graduates over a 2, 3, 4 week program or however long it is. We want to ensure that they can go away from the program and carry on learning. And we do that through a number of mechanisms. I suppose one is an obvious one is we do with a lot of our programs a continuous education component. So the program might be, say, 4 weeks long, but then actually on the back of that is additional training which we build in, and the content of which depends on where the gaps are, where the managers and the staff who manage these graduates feel the gaps are with the graduates that they've recruited, and then they look to augment that initial 4 weeks with some additional training. But that's just part of it. A bigger part, really, I think, is making sure that the graduates themselves know how to continue to learn themselves. One of the challenges with technology, as we all know, is it keeps changing. You only have to look at AI at the minute. It's changing every 5 minutes, it feels like. So the graduates are in that world where technology is changing, and you want them to be resourceful and be able to find out answers for themselves. And a big part of the way we help them learn that is through the project. So in all of our programs, I think without exception, there's a significant project component where in teams they work on some kind of application that they have to deliver in a group and then present on at the end. Now, when they're working on that project, clearly they've got all sorts of questions and concerns and things they want to check and so on. And what we encourage them to do in that period is to work out the answers for themselves. So as instructors, we're not sitting there answering every question that they ever have. We're directing them. How have you solved this problem? Have you looked to solve this problem? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? You're trying to make sure that when they arrive at their desk, they're not constantly asking their new manager lots of questions, when actually, if they were a bit more resourceful, they could find out themselves. So we try and teach them to be resourceful as well as teach them the technology.
Super interesting and very important skill to have.
Yeah.
And then Nick, this year we've logged over 480,000 hours on our virtual machines. So that is a lot of intense technical work. How do we make that social, engaging, and fun for the learners?
Yeah, so the 484,000 hours on a virtual machine means that those graduates have been sat with one of our VMs. We provide a virtualized environment for the training for most clients that just sort of simulates as close as it can the real environment where they'll be working in. So that's where those hours come from. They're in front of these machines, working on these machines. But what we are not doing on our programs, as you asked the question, how do we make sure it feels social, engaging, and fun, is we're not lecturing them,
Yeah,
for 484,000 hours worth.
that would be a lot.
Yeah, that would be pretty painful. So we don't do that. I mean, clearly there's an element of teaching. You can't avoid that, where you are imparting information. But as we all know, a lot of the ways you actually learn stuff is by doing it, not by just having someone tell you what it is. You want to do it. So out of that 484,000 hours, a lot of that time is where we're encouraging them to do stuff, to try stuff, to build out stuff. Like the project I mentioned earlier is a big part of it. But it's not just the project. It's if they're learning any technology, we're teaching them by doing it. Gamification is another way that we ensure that the training remains enjoyable and engaging, and not dull, I suppose, frankly. So we're building in all sorts of strategies through the programs to ensure that the training does remain enjoyable. It's very social too. So we're not just teaching them on their own. You're just learning how to do X, Y, and Z, but actually you're learning how to work with others when you are doing X, Y, and Z. And a big part of the training is actually learning to build out technology with other people, rather than perhaps at university, where they would have done some of that, but often it's individual projects that they submit. They're not really working as a team with others. So we're building a lot of that in, which actually they usually, they do really enjoy, working in that way. It's very different to what they're used to. So yeah, that'd be the kind of things we do to ensure that our training does remain social, engaging, and fun.
I heard through the grapevine that on occasion some costumes come out,
They
dressing up.
do.
Is
They
that true?
do. That is true. Yes. So, to give an example, in one of our continued education pieces, we were teaching Copilot, GitHub Copilot, to a group of technologists, about 100 technologists. I happened to be in New York doing it, and as I'm a pilot by training, and so I put my pilot's uniform on because it was Copilot. There was a reason, and yeah,
Make a
it was a
connection.
gamified session. It was good fun actually. We had one of our other instructors. Matt Thornfield out in India, he was dressed as a game show host when he ran the same session. So yeah, absolutely. Costumes do come out when we run this program because we do want it to be enjoyable. We don't just want it to be a dull lecture-based training program. It's not what we're about in Neueda.
Totally, because I think some people could have a conception that it's 8 hours a day in a conference hall just being talked at, whereas this makes it so much more engaging and so much more memorable. And then finally, Nick, what do you think really defines the Nuida approach when helping these graduates grow both skills and confidence?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is down to the instructors, frankly.
Hmm.
Um, Without the instructors, our programs would be nowhere. so,
Yeah.
so the instructors are key.
Yeah.
And we've now got a very large team of proven instructors, global network of instructors who we can call on and have a lot of confidence in that will deliver the kind of program that I've been describing. So that's probably one of the biggest differentiators is the very large team. I think it's over 200
Over 200 is right.
instructors
Yep.
that we
Hmm.
have globally around the world and that we work with. And I think that's a key part of it. I think another key part of it is the way we structure the program. It's not a series of courses. So some programs, they get structured as like, I've seen it elsewhere. It's literally a series of different courses, sometimes with different instructors as well. So someone
Yeah.
comes in and teaches one thing, they disappear, someone else comes in, teaches something else. There's no continuity. There's no, the instructors come in for week two, they don't know what really happened in week one. You lose that continuity. Whereas the way we would always do our programs is with a consistent team who are with the graduates for the entire duration of their graduate training. So those instructors get to know those graduates really
Yeah.
well over the time, and then you're helping them. The instructors know how to help them grow in those skills and in confidence as well. So the instructors are working with those individuals over 4 weeks because you're helping them not just learn the technology, but helping them get over things like imposter syndrome, because a lot of them just think, I shouldn't be here. Why have they hired me? There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
So just helping graduates get over that, helping them build that confidence really to do that. And again, the project, that sort of capstone project, if you like, that we do it towards the end of our programs is a key part of that building of the skills and the confidence. And at the end of those programs, I always, if I'm doing it, I'll say to the group, how do you feel now? You've just finished. They've just presented their projects. They've literally just finished. You say, how do you feel? And I always say that the word you should be using here perhaps is proud. Should be proud of what you've done. And
Yeah.
they are. They genuinely are proud of what they've achieved. And you see that. Like, I couldn't believe, they'll say things like, I can't believe I was able to do this. If you said in week one, you'll be doing this in week four, they'll be, oh no, that won't, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And then they're amazed at how much they've progressed over the period of the training, which is always great to see as an instructor. And I think that's partly why we have our clients, long-standing clients, where we run these programs year after year, developing the programs and working with our clients in that way.
That must be so rewarding for you to see that transition of the beginning, like, oh, I'm nervous, I maybe don't know
Mm.
what I'm doing, to I'm ready, let's go. Oh,
Absolutely.
brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Nick, for chatting with me today, and we'll speak soon. And if anybody would like to find out more about our graduate training, then head over to our website, which will be linked below. Thanks, Nick.
No problem. Bye bye.